What's up? It's Flips for Miles. Another good student interview for you today. Andrew, it's just about his second full month on Amazon. He's already at 5 to 6K of profit for the month, well on his way to over 10K of profit a month, probably starting in August will be his first 10K profit month. So enjoy the interview, take a look at it, and if you're interested in applying for my coaching program, you can do so down at the link in the description. Let's get into it. Andrew, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just about 2 months in, right, in terms of getting started with Amazon and everything like that.
Yeah, about 6 weeks, month and a half, going on 2 months. Yeah.
Sounds good. And then you have a SellerAmp you could show us here for the people in the comments that are like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. Let me
what
pull it up real fast.
All right, cool. I know it's in the ballpark of like 25K, probably in the ballpark 5-6K profit.
Yeah, let's
So
see. We're
far this
sitting
month.
at 20, 27
27.
so far,
You
about
guys,
halfway through the month.
it's nice seeing the seller app that doesn't have the last year numbers in it. It's just the month
Yeah,
over month numbers. It's even more impressive and everything.
yeah.
200% growth month over month as well. But you kind of want to give a little bit of background, some of the reselling stuff you were doing prior to Amazon, and then we'll dig into like the tactical stuff so anyone watching this can take away some things to get going as quick as you have on stuff.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of sneaker reselling. So that's the same kind of thing going on similar sites you use to do Amazon. Get good at using coupon codes, stuff like that to sell bricks. Did a little bit of console reselling, stuff like that, but nothing really at the scale of Amazon that I'm trying to do right now. So that's pretty much how I got started. And now we're moving with Amazon.
Yeah, and it's definitely the point that it's very similar to other types of reselling, but you made a good point in that the scale's a lot greater. And obviously, Amazon can be confusing. There's ungating people have to deal with, creating an account, there's a barrier to entry on that. But once you have that initial stuff set up, I mean, I literally didn't even know about ungating when I was getting started. I didn't know you could. And everything. But once you get going with that and learn, go through the initial learning curve, right? Create an FBA shipment, maybe do some items merchant fulfilled, different stuff like that. You start seeing, okay, this actually isn't that confusing. The nice thing is it is confusing for a lot of beginners, which it creates a barrier to entry. For those of us who then get over it, it can be easier because now all that matters, the only differentiating factor, now that you know the basics, is just sourcing profitable items, stuff like that. But let's talk about that. What sourcing methods are you mainly doing?
Yeah, so pretty much reverse sourcing, maybe some like manual off of stores, but reverse sourcing 95%, I'd say. And yeah, you're right. Definitely was a learning curve. First few weeks, it's just like storefront stocking. You don't really know where to look. Ungating was a challenge. I found a whole bunch of products from like smaller brands or smaller companies that I didn't know where to look. Um, but then after the first few weeks, you start looking at the right places. You find stores that have the products you're looking for. You can get ungated in these bigger brands, which offer you a huge catalog of products that you can start selling and sell quickly.
Yeah, that's a good point on the big brands and why I like to stick a lot of that myself. One, because no, you don't have to deal with any IP complaint issues, right? Two, thousands of SKUs in these big brands, Nike, Adidas, Converse, some of the toy ones, Lego, Hot Wheel, different stuff like that. There's tons of different products, and tons of different products and big brands means lots of different websites to potentially buy from. And that brings us into our next point in that coupons. And these have been huge. I've been talking about this a little bit more as of late in my content because that's really the differentiating factor in the stuff. And that's what can make stuff good for a while, not just the short term, is that there's that barrier to entry of using coupons and stuff like that. So what percentage of your buys would you say you need a coupon to purchase profitably, or at least that you end up using a coupon on?
It's a huge percentage. It's if you want stuff that I would say if you want stuff that replens, stuff that you could buy again and again, it's got to be at a price other people can't find it at. And so if you're able to get coupon codes, get stuff at a price that's cheaper than anyone else can find it, then you're golden at selling stuff for long periods of time. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why you and I don't deal with a lot of price tanking because there's such a barrier to entry to buy stuff we buy, like ASINs where the UPC doesn't match, stuff where there's variations, naturally a lot to choose from, right? Confuses newer sellers, right? Variations in sizing, variations in color, a higher ASP, all different stuff like that combines to create, in my opinion, a blue ocean in some of these categories that we like to stick to: shoes, clothing, apparel, and that a lot of students like to go to and everything. And that's not to say there's not money in all categories, but naturally, right, I'm a big fan of those categories for those subset of reasons, and that there's a lot of just different stuff going on that can confuse and draw away a lot of newer sellers, when on
Mhm.
the flip side, something on Walmart that's 15 bucks that's selling for 35 is very profitable, but a lot of people are going to find that might show up in tactical arbitrage searches, right? Different stuff, different stuff like that and everything as moving forward. And another point, right? So not only on the topic of coupons, but also sales, right? Memorial Day, 4th of July. There's some big sales in June, right? Those are another good opportunity. Those are just a little bit more finite, so I recommend buying a little bit heavier on stuff like that. And are you doing all your own sourcing thus far, or do you have any VAs?
I had one VA to start out with. Honestly, that's a mistake a lot of people make starting out, is thinking that you need a whole bunch of VAs. You need a bunch of people to, get you sourcing as many products as you can. But I think that it's tough. It's tough to have VAs when you yourself aren't really an expert at sourcing yet, and especially when you're not moving at a big kind of scale. I just felt like I could do it better myself, and I could spend more time sourcing myself, and I could, save the cash flow, save the money I'm spending on someone else, when I could be sourcing myself. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of that. I don't think anyone really should have VAs under like 10 grand a month of profit, in my opinion, just because obviously there's a lot of time necessary to go into that. But one, if you put in the time to get good at that on your own, you'll be able to manage it a lot better, and you won't be reliant on other stuff. And that what if, the VA goes on vacation or quits, gets a new job, something like that, and then you're left having sacrificed lead flow in a season where you might be really looking to scale up aggressively. And that's why I'm such a big fan of getting really good at your own, having tons of stuff in your mind, getting good enough where you see stuff other people don't. A lot of coupons lead to opportunities like that, variations, stuff like that. Let's talk about that though, because I think we can bring a lot of game in terms of finding coupon opportunities, because that's something that if more people knew, one, stuff would be less profitable too, but just that we can help with in that regard. So I can just kind of spitball a few. Being on the email lists of different sites, definitely you can literally just Google too different. I think I have a whole video about this, but Rakuten has a list of coupons. Those tend to not be good though, from my experience. A lot of good ones don't show
Yeah.
up on that.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, Rakuten, those don't really work in my
Yeah,
experience.
especially on the sites we like to buy from.
Yeah, Rakuten, Capital One Shopping, just get every single extension you can that gets coupons, because
What's
you just
Capital One Shopping?
Capital One Shopping is, it's similar to Rakuten. They offer a higher percentage for some sites, except
Mhm.
you don't redeem it for like a balance that gets cashed out to you. It's instead a balance that you can redeem for gift cards on popular
Huh,
sites like,
interesting.
Nike, foot sites like Foot Locker, something like that.
Mhm.
You can use to buy more stuff. Um, so stuff like that. Um, Googling around, like you said, being on
Yeah,
email.
that's big. That's underrated too. If you Google like Foot Locker coupons, one, everyone just do that. You'll find a coupon, but there's also a whole bunch of junk in there, so you get rewarded for digging around
For
a little
sure.
bit. But it's on their main domain. But a lot of sites have that stuff. Another big one is the email coupon, like just like pop-ups that come up on lots of websites, some smaller ones, as well. Text messages as well. Can come up in different cases. And then email's another big one on stuff too. Flip side, another I guess you could kind of call this a coupon. Rewards accounts are big. I've been personally sleeping a lot on rewards account checkout through different sites, but like some of the different ones, it might be an extra like 7.5% compounded across even thousands of dollars to spend across the year, if not like $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. That could be an extra $1,000 profit just on that. And I like sometimes you can count that into buy cost, sometimes you not. I'm not a fan of counting like Rakuten into your buy cost, stuff like that. But that's pretty cool in terms of just the coupons, the rewards, that stuff I do. Like Kohl's Cash, for example, is a good
Oh,
example
yeah.
of stuff like that. Do you have like a moment or a day where stuff kind of clicked, or stuff was just selling a lot faster than you expected to, or you were a lot more successful like buying? Was there any moment like that yet?
Yeah, well, I'm just like, when I first started, first couple months, I wasn't really paying attention to volume or stuff that was really high rank, and then I started talking to you, and we started talking about how important volume was if you really wanted to scale and get any kind of meaningful product profit that you could like sustain over time. And I remember I started going for products that were only less than 50,000, only stuff that would move fast. And then I remember I sent a big shipment in, and then a couple weeks later I wake up and it's just, $1,000 days, just repeatedly over and over again. And not like once in a blue moon you get a good day. It's repeatedly every single day. And I go back and check those products and they're still in stock. It's stuff I could buy. It might not be, 35, 50% ROI stuff that people might might like to buy more because it looks nice, but it's stuff that is really reliable, stuff that you could buy over again. And so when I kind of figured that out, it just clicked. It just clicked that this is the best method to sourcing and just like finding the best products to make the most money possible. Yeah.
Yeah, and on the sales rank side of things too, I'll get on one-on-ones with people like within the coach program and be like, yeah, okay, so what's a high sales rank to you? And they'll be like, anything over 100K, I'd say is pretty high. And I tell them like 50 to 60, in my opinion. Obviously that's a blanket statement, right? Trailing 90-day average with Keepa, stuff like that. But you need liquidity. You know what I mean? You need to be able to move stuff quickly, if you ever need to, right? Just naturally. And two, with liquidity comes a lot more volume. And when you're buying stuff other people aren't buying with coupons, right? Variations, that kind of stuff. I sound like a broken record, but it's literally true. Like you can have a lot of success just focusing on stuff like that, shoes, clothing. Then not only are you selling more of stuff that's selling more, you're selling more of stuff that's selling more that other people aren't selling because there was that buried entry fee to buy. And you can get more quantity of less items that sell for more with a higher ASP because you're buying stuff that's more expensive. So 10 of an item from Foot Locker that might be $40 or $60 is a lot more spend than 10 of even a few different beauty items from Walmart, for example. And then order cancels are less of an issue because you're buying the same quantity of stuff, but the quantity of each or the price of each individual items a lot higher. And this kind of ended up being like a really good kind of advanced like OA session. But you and I have both gone through that process, right? And you're continuing to go. How much do you think you can do in April in sales based off like how I guess spend's going this month so far in July?
April, as in, you mean August?
Oh, August. Yeah. Yes,
yeah,
August.
I think I could push 60, 70, maybe something around that. It's back to school time, so try to push as much as I can, get as much merch fulfilled stuff I can.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's what I'm saying, man. So many people sleep on merch filling for just the replenishability fast on stuff. You know what I mean? You and I have been coordinating right on some different items, seeing just the effect of the volume can have on stuff. And that's why
seriously,
if there's less than like 10 or 20 sellers on stuff, even like you can verify in the buy box stats on this, which buy box stats, you just go to data, buy box statistics. You can see there's a column, FBA check marks for anyone watching who's not hip to not hip to that. But MFing such a great opportunity on this stuff as well. And dudes are like making less than 10 grand a month, less than 5 grand a month profit, talking about FBA is not worth my time. Yes, it is. Like, do it. You'll make way more money on stuff. The goal is making more money. At least, that's the way I was doing stuff back. And then I assume you'll eventually shift to mostly.
Yeah, just like focus in on that more. Like people that are just getting started with not a ton of capital. FBA, with all the transfers that are involved, I feel like it's several weeks, maybe even up to a couple of months. As sometimes
depending.
it's really, really
if you get unlucky on stuff. Yeah, and I did.
FBM is like you'll have it in the door in a few days. You could have it posted. You could have some sales the next day, have it shipped out, and you're getting the money back into your account by the time that your FBA stuff is just showing up. So just having that speed is really important.
Yeah, my bad. Another underrated factor in that is that you actually can get the buy box share, and that oftentimes FBMing and FBAing really end up being the same cost. Like some people think like the shipping's really expensive for FBM. It's expensive compared to FBAing stuff, obviously, where you're shipping stuff in bulk and everything. But in the grand scheme of things, because you're not paying FBA fees, it tends to be the same stuff, especially if you're shipping from the same region of the country on everything. In terms of like now that you have the Instagram FBA Braun, make sure everyone follows that. What's your answer to the person who's just getting started in terms of the best course of action to get going and to get sales quickly on stuff that's like just watching this as a beginner? Maybe they've been watching some other videos on here and they're just looking to get going with stuff.
I'd say the hardest part is just getting started. Make a seller account, hook everything up. It might take a couple weeks. Make a Twitter, make an Instagram, follow everybody. You can actually message these big sellers and they'll actually respond to you. That's how I started talking to Miles. So just join like Miles' Discord, join other Discords, just ask around. And then watch YouTube videos, learn how to reverse source. And really, it's just, you'll learn over time. You can't help but learn if you put in time every single day.
Yeah, and by doing it. Like, if you can find all you need, like, you can see with SellerAmp how many reviews people have. They're making money if they have 100 reviews, right? Or 50 reviews, 10 reviews, whatever. They're making money. They're selling stuff for a reason. It's to make money. It's just then understanding how to go ahead and reverse sourcing that and putting in the effort when you're not good to eventually, that's the only way to eventually get good is by doing it a lot on everything like that. But cool. That was a good little video on that. You have socials to plug. We just decided on that Instagram name prior, but you'll have that up by the time this video goes live. But plug anywhere people could find you.
Perfect.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, I'll do it for him. It's FBA Braun right there. FBA. The Twitter's different, right?
Yeah, FBA Braun. My Twitter will be FBA Braun. It's being
Oh,
switched to that
there we
very
go.
soon.
Cool. Yeah, so that'll definitely go check that out. And if you're interested in applying for the coaching program, feel free to take a look at the link down below. You can get right with Andrew and I in there. But thanks a lot for coming on, and thanks a lot for everyone watching this. Go get a SellerAmp free trial and go follow this man on Instagram and Twitter and everything like that. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, thanks.